What's up, YouTube friends? Today I'm in the garden and I'm going to replant my seed tape. Now it's been extremely hot here in Nebraska and also tons of thunderstorms. It's very hard to keep up on the weeds. So right here I have radishes, rutabagas, turnips, and parsnips. As you can see, the weeds took over and I had to rip them out, so now today I'm going to replant them. Now if you remember earlier in spring, we made some homemade seed tape with our carrots and radishes, so that's what I'm going to show you how to plant today. Now I use a square foot garden spacing, and I'm going to have a foot by foot square of the watermelon radishes and a foot by foot square of just the regular white sparkler radishes. Now for radishes, you can put 16 per square. When I made my seed tape, I made them 3 foot long. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this into 3 pieces. And then I also have a 1 foot piece left over from when I planted these previously. Now this couldn't be any easier. All I'm going to do is lay them on the ground. And now I'm just going to do the exact same thing with the watermelon radishes. Now if you'd like to get your children involved in garden, radishes are a very simple and fast growing crop. Since kids don't like to wait, these grow really fast. Next I'm just going to grab some dirt from over here and cover them up. Now just give it a little pat down. And the toilet paper will keep the seeds nice and moist until they're ready to sprout, and eventually it'll just break down in your garden. Now it's supposed to storm again tonight, so I'm not going to water these. However, if it wasn't going to rain, then you just want to go ahead and give them a good drink. So that's how easy it is to plant your seed tape. Now I'll just give you a quick tour of the rest of the garden, but beware, it's weedy. Alright guys, so we're first going to start with my herb bed. Now my herb bed is a 3 foot by 5 foot bed. Now this is just plain chives and they come up every year. This year I had to buy some basil, so I got regular green and purple. Ahead of that is thyme, oregano, and curly leaf parsley. Behind that is rosemary. Now all of those I ended up buying. If you go to the left here, right here is cilantro. Now I'm just going to go ahead and rebroadcast some more seeds here just to get more growing. And behind that is dill. And that needs some more seeds too. Now this is my first pepper and tomato bed. As you can see, those tomatoes are already 5 foot tall. I had to trim off the tops. I ended up doing 8 varieties of peppers, 4 of each, and 8 varieties of tomato, only 2 of each. So right here I have ghost peppers. Behind that are the Cherokee purple tomatoes. Next to the Cherokee purples are black crems. I just grew those last year and they are great. The Cherokee purple used to be my favorite. Now I'm not so sure between these two. Now the 4 pepper plants here that are already like 3 foot tall are the Hungarian hot waxes. And as you can see, I already have a pepper and a ton of flowers. Now since we had so much rain and these are kind of flopping over, I'm just going to go ahead and stick some bamboo in here to prop these up today. And as you can see, I also need a weed. Now next to those are jalapenos. Behind the jalapenos are Rutger tomatoes. And next to that is Lemon Boy. And finally, the last set of peppers in this bed are California Wonders. They're a big sweet bell pepper. Now just across from that bed is my second pepper and tomato bed. So these 4 peppers in this very weedy bed are banana peppers. Next to those are poblanos, then Anaheims, and at the end there are cubanellas. I've never grown those before, so I'm pretty excited. Now for the tomatoes, I have Rapunzel. I got those from the free seed giveaway over on Ray and Rascal's channel. Next to those are San Marzanos, then Ace 55s, and finally some Romas. Now right now it just looks like a giant sea of green, but hopefully once I weed it, it'll look a little better. Now there's my 3-bin compost. Now as you can see, I also have some tomato and pepper plants in buckets here along the fence. And that's only because my quote-unquote friend told me he wanted all these plants in January. I grew them, then he decided he didn't want to garden this year. And I just could not throw them away. So this big 4x8 bed is all beans. I have 4 different kinds. I have Blue Bush Lake, Tender Green, Kitchen King, and then just a mixture of all the seeds that I've collected over the years. I just scattered them in there. One of my favorite things to can is green beans, and I just love the flavor. Now this sad, weedy bed is my asparagus. It actually finally came up this year. I was kind of surprised because I only had a few shoots that came up last year. Originally I just had 5 crowns in here, 1 in each of the corners and 1 in the middle. But after doing a little more research, I realized I could put more crowns in there. The original kind I believe was Jersey something or another. But then I went ahead and got some purple passion, 4 of them, and I have one here, 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 and here. But of course you probably can't see with all that grass. Now right behind my asparagus bed is my onions and garlic. Right here I had leeks and green onions that I planted by seed. The grass took them over before they got big enough, so I had to go ahead and rip them out. I'm not sure if it's going to be too hot to replant these now, or if I'll just have to wait till fall. Now I have 2 different types of onions in between this grass. I have yellow onions and white onions. And over here is my garlic, which is doing really well, although it doesn't look like it. I planted this last fall, and it's one of the first things to come up. Next to that, we have eggplant on these 4, and kohlrabi back here. Now I haven't had kohlrabi in years. My grandmother used to grow it in her garden when we were little, and she passed away quite a long time ago. Next to that, I have Detroit red beets, and back behind them are the golden beets. And as you can see, I need to replant some. Then I have broccoli and cauliflower. Now growing up the trellis here, it's a blue Hubbard squash. I've never grown it before, but it was a nice dusty gray blue color, so I thought I'd give it a try. Next to that, Brussels sprouts. Now I've heard Brussels sprouts are kind of hard to grow, but these ones are growing like weeds. Now what's supposed to be growing up this trellis are sweet dumpling squashes. It's a little personal size squash. I've planted them twice already and they still haven't come up. Now my final bed here is 5 foot by 10 foot. Running down the middle are cucumbers, and I have 3 different kinds. I have straight 8, Market More, and Boston Pickling. Now that's where we just planted are radishes. Next to that's going to be turnips, parsnips, and rutabagas. Now I have two different kinds of spinaches. This one got overtaken by weeds. It was just a regular spinach, and then I bought this New Zealand spinach. It's doing pretty well. Now over here I have 4 red cabbage plants. Only one came up at first, and then I went ahead and replanted. I need to thin those out. Over here is 4 green cabbage, and that's going to be for my sauerkraut. Last year I actually did the fermented sauerkraut, and it was okay. It just took a long time. This year I think I'm going to cheat a little bit and just do the pickled cabbage. Here's the peppers that my buddy never took. Now right here is my red Russian kale. It just took off like crazy, and as you can see it has a lot of bug damage and hail damage. Because it's been raining so much, I have not got a chance to spray, so hopefully sometime this week it won't rain. And right next to this is the blue Vates Scotch kale, and that got overrun by weeds, so I had to pull it out. And finally, here are my carrots. If you remember, early in the spring, we also made the seed tapes with these. And we have the scarlet nantes and the red core carrots. Now here's my bee bath that I made last year. And I have some sage up on the deck that I'm going to go ahead and plant in here. But I ran out of potting mix, filling all these up. Well guys, I hope you liked that quick tour of my very weedy garden. I'll probably be out here the rest of the day weeding and propping up my pepper plants. If you like this video, give it a like, share it across the social medias, and don't forget to subscribe. Head on over to Facebook for Scrappy's Patch if you'd like to share garden and craft ideas. And as always, thanks for watching, happy gardening, and I'll see you next time.